Okay, this is just a test of how this is gonna look before I spill my heart out regarding like why I'm here in Singapore and what I'm trying to become. All right. Hey guys, my name is Denton Lim, Bulaklak, but I'm also known as Denton Lim. Yeah. I chose that so that if you ever come across like content of mine, it's almost like my name would be just like something that's just passing by. It's like a film by Denton Lim versus a film by Denton Lim Bulaklak. And Bulaklak is a very interesting name. It's also it's a name that I'm very proud of. That's a family that I'm extremely proud to be a part of. But unfortunately, the world is so big and small. But the world is so big in a sense of like how far you can reach now with media and anything that you make, that you put out there, that I feel like having a name that's as simple as Denton Lim, like Denton Lim, is something that's less stressful and less energy consuming in the brain to think about. Denton Lim. There are arguments for either way, but I would just prefer having the simpler name. And it is actually me. Denton is my first name, Lim is my middle name, Bulaklak is my last name. Why I call my media a film by versus a video by, or versus a vlog by my name. A film by Denton Lim is no accident. I actually fancy myself as, yes, a content creator, but I've always been a fan of filmmaking, in a general sense, in the more classical sense. Like if I can get a hold of a film camera, a camera that actually uses like a roll of film, I would actually invest in that. Unfortunately, I don't have those kind of funds. I don't have that kind of resource, and I know those type of vintage equipment are like much more expensive now to get a hold of and to even like access. Even to borrow or like rent, it's probably going to be very expensive, and it's also very not cost effective, because if you film on film, the film you have to take care of. Like you have to encapsulate it in a film canister. You have to wait to expose it in a dark room so that you can start actually keeping it safe from light. Otherwise, it'll be destroyed, or keep it from actual exposure prior to actually developing it. It's just like a film, like an actual like film picture. That's the same thing as with a film. What do you call it? Same exact method with the film video camera. So. Yeah, as great as those are, we are in the digital age now. But calling it a film versus a digital media, I don't know. For me, it just sounds better. It just sounds like it fits better. And one particular subject that has always been a major interest in mine is, first off, becoming a filmmaker and becoming a storyteller, and the effect of becoming that. You have this chance to become a person of guidance in the field, especially if you become professional in it. Being coined professional, that really has a lot to do with whether you are good at something and some other person or entity or corporation or company that's not you is willing to pay you to do the job, so that because you're a professional in that. So becoming a professional in something like media creation or filmmaking, it really depends on your skill level, your creativity, your ability to adapt to the changing times and the changing narratives, or the the wants and the needs of people of today and in the upcoming future. It really depends on the need. So therefore, that's you becoming a professional in that is great. The one particular thing that has come to fruition ever since all this media has now been maturing it's becoming an adult, right? It's become more of an adult versus an adolescence. Like the whole media industry, and also like social media is already included with that. Streaming services, so you can view things via digital platforms. People who tend to have such control of narratives tend to call themselves, which is like, for me, it's a moniker. The word I'm referring to is influencer. Again, influencer. So it actually has a very negative connotation for me personally, because everyone just takes it as, with a grain of salt, saying, oh, it's just a word, it's just something that you claim to be and whatnot, or someone claims you to be, because you have a sense of power over your content that actually, yes, for better or for worse, helps influence people to do things, or to buy things, or to think differently, more in line with how you think, because you're an influencer. There are people like that, in history. There have been people who have been influencing other people. There have been world leaders, there have been cult leaders, there have been brand names, there have been, brand athletes, actors, actresses, filmmakers, directors, producers, storytellers, writers, novelists. I say that a lot. Sorry, if I say what do you call it, it's almost like saying and. Like I'm saying and or but. So instead of and and but, I'm saying what do you call it? What do you call it is like, let me think. That's kind of like what that is. So back to the subject. So again, influencing and influencer, there's something about it that doesn't really sit well with me. So I want to explain what I am trying to do versus what an influencers are being or trying to be, or people who want to get into the industry and they're trying to be it. So I'm going to try to explain what I feel like is probably something that's more important than trying to be an influencer. Outside of being an influencer, I'll give you an example. So you have two people that I really, really love. A brand that's still here today, which is Michael Jordan. Michael Air Jordan. Everyone knows him. So that's one example. Another example is a person who's actually not here anymore. And it's the late, great Anthony Bourdain. I was so sad when he passed away. Yeah, so I'm only using two examples because it's very much in relation to how I feel about media and how I feel about whatever you're going to become. This is what you should probably strive for versus what everyone else is telling you could be. Michael Jordan, still with us, still creating great content, still creating great shoes, great apparel, as well as Anthony Bourdain, who has written a lot of books. Kitchen Confidential made him a big hit. Then he did a Cook's Tour. Then he did a No Reservations. Then he did the Layover for the Travel Channel, and obviously Parts Unknown for CNN. And obviously, after his death, someone summed it up and then created this great documentary about him called Roadrunner. So Michael Jordan had the movie Space Jam, as well as all the 6 championships, the 2 retirements. Actually, it was 3 retirements. All the videos about his Chicago Bulls days, Air Jordan IMAX. I remember those. I still have those videos, by the way, like in the United States. When I wanted to explain about Anthony Bourdain having Roadrunner and all the shows that he created, and also all the books that he created, that he wrote, as well as Michael Jordan creating this pretty much culture when it comes to basketball, you name it, and hip hop is included in that. Because a lot of hip hop culture is all about wearing Michael Jordan's shoes and whatnot and apparel. So it's all becoming like a big thing. And I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of that has to do not really with their influence. Instead of being an influencer, is to be, drumroll, an inspirer. I know, it's funny. It's funny when you hear it. Oh, an inspirer. It's so corny. It's like, it doesn't roll off the tongue. Well, think about it. Influencer, influence, influencing, influencer, influencer. It's just as funny and corny as inspirer, inspiring. I inspire you. I'm an inspirer. So the reason why I relate those to people like Kobe, the late Kobe, more so Michael Jordan and Anthony Bourdain, is because they didn't really influence me. They inspired me. Michael Jordan was an inspirer. Kobe Bryant was an inspirer. Tiger Woods is an inspirer. Michelle Yeoh is an inspirer. Ki Hui Kwan is an inspirer. You know, you name it. Catherine Bigelow is an inspirer. James Cameron is an inspirer. Steven Spielberg is an inspirer. Because if they're influencing you, are you really going to be the next Steven Spielberg? Or the next Michael Jordan? Or the next Michelle Yeoh? Or the next Anthony Bourdain? I don't think there's actually a next of anyone. You can't be someone who already is. So they can inspire you to be you. Whatever you become in a greater sense of you. So that's why I wanted to differentiate that from what an influencer is, or what they're trying to push to you as what influencing is, versus what actually is being done to you is inspiring you to become someone that you ought to be from within. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, just try to inspire other people with the works that you do. And I think that's more important than becoming an influencer. And I think being an inspiration to someone lasts longer in a purer sense, inspiring you to be a better you. So I hope that makes a difference when it comes to what content is being created. Not just by me, but whoever decides to watch this and be inspired by it. But thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. It means a lot, and I just hope to continue to be an inspirer moving forward. Thanks, guys. Signing off, Denton Lim.